my enlightened ones. How you all doing? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure everybody can hear me, okay? Hi, Jazz and Penny and Jasmine and Sarah. I know you're here, Julie, and I know Penny's in here somewhere. And it's great to see you guys. Thanks for showing up. Can you guys hear me? Perfect. Awesome. Sweet. Because I'm going to jump out of comments now. Well, thanks so much for showing up tonight. It's going to be, I think, a little fun tonight and interesting. And I'm hidden in my room, so watch behind me for any floaties or anybody who wants to say hi. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thanks for coming in. Please like and subscribe. Gets my content out there to help other people that are looking for a little enlightenment or a little mischief or a little tomfoolery. Anyway, so glad you guys can be here. So we were working on, I'm making noise here, the Book of Shadows. So again, we are going to be talking about Samhain. That's wrong. Samhain again tonight. So, but in case I want everybody relaxed, if you want to work on your Book of Shadows, I can show you my page on Samhain here. Hang on 1 second. I gotta go to the back of the book. All right, so here we go. Almost there. Okay. So, of course not. It's going to be at the back of the book. Okay. This is a full book. So this is my Samhain ritual here. Okay. The Witch's New Year's, which is over here. There we go. It's so hard because everything's backwards here. There we go. So this is my page, and it just kind of just tells you what the new year's about, what it represents, what you're bringing in, what you're getting rid of. It also represents the biggest thing of all is All Saints Day, All Souls Day. Okay, it's remembering the dead. Yes. And pets too. Okay, it's remembering the dead. It's honoring them. They usually do food for the dead. This is where trick or treat came into play. So that's kind of cool. So if you wish to work on your Book of Shadows, please continue on. I can give you a few things that you can actually put into it. We'll be going over that. As we explain the traditions and where things came to be. So that's really cool. So please, you have time. I'm just waiting to see if anybody else is going to filter in. So grab a coffee, grab a cocoa, grab a tea, grab some witch's brew. I got my shirt on. I got my girls rocking here. It's just a little bunch of hocus pocus here. So we're ready to rock and roll over here. So how is everybody tonight? I want to stop and say hi to everybody. You hear me perfect. Sharon, welcome. Again, Penny, Jasmine, my go-to girl. Sarah, my other go-to girl. So happy to have you here tonight. Shane's a little under the weather. So he's laying down right now, not feeling too well. So, but anyway, he says hi. So, grab some tea, grab some coffee, grab your witch's brew, and let's get a shake on, shall we? I needed that. Thank you. Nectar of the gods. I turned into a Sarah Sinister. All right. So tonight, I'm going to talk about. All right. So. Samhain blessings. Samhain. Pronounced wrong. Samhain. Okay. Samhain is a wonderful tradition. It's New Year's again. It's remembering the dead, those have passed, gone on before us. Catholicism stepped in, of course, and made it All Saints Day. You heard me say All Saints Day earlier. Same tradition, same kind of thing. In fact, a lot of Catholicism's traditions, like such as Christmas, bringing the tree inside, these are all pagan traditions that have been taken over. So anyway, but don't send me any hate mail. I'm just explaining a few things. That's all I'm doing here. Okay, so Um, let's get into, I have a little story to tell you. So October 1st is called Samhain, which is a popular pagan holiday with a lot of meaning and energy behind it. The Samhain holiday is a time to honor the dead and those who have passed on, is celebrated during the last few days of October, typically on Halloween night. More specifically, Samhain celebrations begin on sunset on October 31st and end at sunset on November 1st. So that is the traditionally how it goes. Okay. Samhain is almost exactly halfway between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. Okay. So again, it's like the half of a half. Okay. So that's kind of very powerful. But Samhain comes from the old Irish word meaning summer's end. Okay. Summer end marks the beginning of winter. Samhain, known as the witches' New Year's. Your colors of Samhain, which is New Year's, which I'm wearing right now, is your black and your orange. Okay. Now, if you remember your candle magic and go back to the candle magic, the orange candle represents new beginnings. Yay! New Year's coming in. Wonderful things are coming to me. Cast out the old. And so, of course, the black is for banishing, absorbing negative energy, casting away. Okay. So this is seeing the years past and letting it go. Okay. So the two colors, the orange, new beginnings, black is honoring those, also has to do with souls as well being parted because they're in the dark or they're in the shadow lands because the veil is very thin, and this is the time of year that they can actually come back and say, how do you do? So don't forget to set the table for Uncle John. Okay, so once the veil is living in the between the living and the dead grows very thin, food is set aside for ancestors and lost loved ones as gifts, rituals honoring the dead to take place. Have you heard of, I'm doing that, sorry, reversing letters, and I'm getting crazy with it. Have you heard of soul cakes? Soul cakes are actually an offering when people come around and knock on your door and they're actually dressed up, okay, in costume because they're honoring the dead. Plus, they know that the veil between the living and the dead is very thin right now, and some negative things can come back too. So, why not dress like them and stay hidden? So what they would do is they go around knocking from door to door, dressed up in costume, hiding from the things that might be hunting them, okay? And they knock on the door of the house, and the people that are in the home answer the door, and they offer soul cakes. These soul cakes are usually consisting of raisins, rice, wheat, barley, whatever the cake is, and they offer it up to them. And the people that are dressed in costume actually stand outside the house and say prayers for their loved ones who have passed and to give blessing to the house. So that's what the soul cake kind of represents right there. How did Samhain originate? It is actually from Ireland and Scotland and Wales is where it originates. They were very superstitious people. They believed that it was a time marked the boundary between two of the worlds, the world of the living and the world of the not living. Okay. Those who have passed on to another life. It was observed as a festival where people would wear costumes in order to share food with those they were honoring who had passed on. Samhain rituals are really important because the Celts believed in many superstitions. They believed that terrible things would happen, and Samhain rituals weren't perfectly followed to a letter T. So they were very paranoid. This is where in the olden days of the Druids, you've heard about Druids, and you heard about sacrificing things, okay, for the pagan gods or whatever that they believed in to have a good harvest of next coming year and so forth and so on. I don't sacrifice anything. This is all love and light here. Okay. So if you want something a little bit more twisted, but anyway, so the rituals, the offerings is what I call them, that I give is libations. I will pour out a little chalice of wine, or I'll offer soul cake, or I'll offer apple or pomegranate, usually red. Food is for the souls of the dead. So pomegranates, as I said, apples. It's the one night of the year that it is easiest to cast spells and to do rituals, and also to divine your future love. They used to bob for apples. Hey. Then you peel the apple skin and you throw the skin into the water, and as it falls, it will form the letter of the first alphabet of the name that you're supposed to marry or you're supposed to fall in love with. So that's where divination comes into play in bobbing for apples. You get the apple in your mouth, and then you peel it, and then you throw it in the water and figure out who you're going to marry. All right. It was said that any crops that were sown during this time of year, so if you tried to plant crops this time of year, they will not thrive. They will die, because that is not honoring the time of year when you're supposed to rest, and so forth and so on, according to the traditions of the Celts. Oh, did you just see that? I just had a little woot woot come in. Hi, how are you doing? You saying hi? Speaking of honoring the dead, you can come back and say hello again. Can you show yourself to me? So anyway, so this holiday is typically observed as Halloween. And some of its most iconic symbols include pumpkins, carved faces, represents ghosts, as well as bonfires. Did you know that the word bonfire comes from the word bone fire? Yes. They cooked things in the fire way back then. But then as traditions changed and we became less barbaric, okay, they used to build bonfires. The bonfires became bonfires, okay, and they would put two bonfires because they believed that if you can put something between the two bonfires, it would be honored and blessed by the pagan gods. So what they would do is they would take their cattle, they would have two fires, and they usually do them on the hilltops, and they run the cattle through the valley in between the two bonfires. So they're blessing their cattle for the year, and they're blessing their crops if they bring their crops through that way or whatever. So that's another tradition. So bonfire, it was actually bonfire. Okay, so that's kind of cool. All right, so Ireland did not have pumpkins. It was not until they came to England. New England, here we settle. Pilgrim. Okay, so they met the Native Americans. They taught them how to grow maize, corn. They taught them how to grow pumpkins. And it's a lot easier to carve a pumpkin than it is to carve a dang turnip, because everybody's in Ireland going around like this with arthritis because trying to carve turnips. So anyway, so they did go after the jack-o'-lantern. They created the jack-o'-lantern. The jack-o'-lantern is named after Jack. He supposedly he tricked a demon to go up in a tree, and the demon went up in the tree, and he drew a symbol at the bottom of the tree, and anyway, because the demon was coming to take him down to hell, and anyway, he tricked the demon up the tree, trapped the demon, and the demon said, if you let me down, I won't take you back to hell. And so he removed the marking on the tree. The demon came back down, and the demon tossed him a turnip with a coal in it to walk in the darkness for all eternity. Jack-o'-lantern. This is his lantern now he carries around with him. So again, it's easier to carve a pumpkin than it is to carve a turnip. So this is where your jack-o'-lantern came into play. The Catholic Church adapted in traditional Celtic holiday, Samhain. As I said, they decided to attempt to bring Christianity to England. Yes. The church renamed it All Hallows Eve and incorporated elements of pre-Christian ritual into the observances. The blending eventually led to the creation of Halloween. Okay. Many Halloween traditions started as pagan rituals, mutated as church claimed them, and evolved to modern non-religious practices that we now enjoy. However, much of the meaning of the ritual behind Samhain has been lost. There is a lot of importance to the pagan holiday, not only because we all love a good holiday, party, dress up, how fun is that? To be somebody that you're not for one night. How cool is that? I pretend to be somebody else all the time. No, I'm just kidding. Not only because we all love a good holiday, but because as the days mark specific occurrences in nature and shifts of the season, our bodies often sense these shifts are occurring. Even though our minds may not be in sync, our bodies kind of sync up. Why do you think you put on a few extra pounds as the weather gets colder? Your body's preparing for that cold chill of the winter. Let's put some thermal fat on that butt. Okay. So, if you want to feel closer to nature and enjoy energy in the spiritual world, then consider incorporating a few easy Samhain rituals. So, here we go. How to celebrate Samhain. There are many different ways. You actually saw me perform that ritual where I was grateful. I was giving thanks, gratitude for my harvest, my bounty. That's one way. Bringing in pumpkins, bringing in, again, why do we bring the Christmas tree inside during winter? We're honoring the green that goes away. It's a deciduous tree, so it stays alive, but we're honoring the green that disappears during wintertime on the other trees, and we're keeping that alive in our home until the spring evolves, and then from which, if you didn't cut it and it's got roots, you can replant it. So, let's see here. Samhain is a time to release. This is a big thing. Oh, there's another one that just did it to me. You little buggies. I got spirit with me. Okay, well, welcome in, my spiritual beings. All right, so say hi to my enlightened ones on the other side. Can you zip by the camera? Say hello. Something, I can feel something out back of me, so just kind of in the green area. Sorry, everything's left, right, right, left on this thing. So over in this area, I'm feeling something right now, so just kind of keep an eyeball out. It's Halloween. Don't physically take it out. I'm just okay. All right. So Samhain is a time to release. Instead of holding on to the past, you can let go. Again, this is the past. The black is the past. Okay. Let that go. Let the new beginnings, the orange, come into play. So welcoming new things, like I said, you saw me do it. I take leaves from outside and I draw, or I write, excuse me, there goes another one. I write on them what I want to accomplish in the next year. Like, I'm going to work more towards world peace. Not that I can do it all by myself, but I can still do my little part in helping, putting light and love out there. I get things zipping all around me. I have all my plants in the room right now. So with the plants comes in little fairies. So yeah, so I got things zipping around. So don't be surprised if something says hi. All right. So off track again. Good job, Kat. Okay. So again, Samhain blessings here. Let's show this. Ancestors come closer now as the wheel turns north and the nights grow longer, summoning us to sacred circle. Dancing round the fire, we welcome another new year. Cast a circle low and wide, holding beloved spirits inside. May the blessings of Samhain in the dark half of the year bring abundance, remembrance, and joy. Let us never forget those we've lost. Amen. And so mote it be. Okay, so that is a blessing, Samhain blessing. And again, it's not so much the word as it's the intent that you're putting out there. Just be gratitude, man. That's all you got to do. Thankful. I got a roof over my head, and I got lots of spiritual beings that live with me. But, be thankful what you got. There's always other people out there that have it so much worse than you. So just, yeah. However, um, letting things go, that's a big thing. I digress. Sorry. Um, being positive, being grateful, that is new beginnings. You're gravitating, you're putting that frequency out to the universe. So by gravitating that love and light out there, you're gravitating and telling the universe you want more of that loving light coming back to you. That's the power of magnetism. So that's really amazing how that works. Okay, another way, spending time in nature is a great thing to do. Just taking a walk. We do it on Halloween night, Samhain. We go trick-or-treating with our children, with our grandchildren. That is another way of celebrating. That's why that's the New England tradition to do that here, okay? Having a bonfire, another thing. Fire gazing, that's another form of divination, staring into the fire. Why wouldn't you take the thinnest, most magical night of the veil, and why not try to see what the future holds? Why wouldn't you try that? Do it safely in your circle, but why not? Try it. It's fun. So, okay, bonfires, moving on. Giving fall offerings to deities. And again, you know, there's a few deities that I really am very, very close with, but the majority of it is just earth, air, fire, water. It's I like to leave it generic because they know their names, they know their jobs. I just asked them to come and be with me, and they come in and they help me in my magical workings, my healings. I do a lot of healing for people. So they come in and they help me, and I thank them for coming in, and then they leave. So, but it's very important. Again, psychic protection, especially on the most imagine, there's so much energy in that night that you can actually tap into. And there's another magical, it's a portal that actually opens as it goes from daytime into nighttime. And again, it's timing, it's everything, and you can tap into that. Another great wonderful thing that you can do is, by chance, if it should rain that night, collect thunder water. Collect it in a glass bowl, or I prefer glass. Aluminum's great. Um, it's better if it's copper. But you collect that thunder water, and it's not so much for drinking. If you kept, in copper, you don't want to drink so much of the water because, copper poisoning. So, but anyway, but as far as capturing the water, you can use it in tinctures, a couple drops under the tongue. That's fine, making tinctures. And that will be another class. I will be teaching you guys how to make tinctures. I will be also coming up very soon. You've heard me speak of them. I call them demon bottles, but we're going to call them home blessing bottles. And I am going to teach you guys how to make these bottles. And this was shared with me through Archangel Michael, believe it or not, something to zipped. So he taught me how to make these. I perfected these, and they work amazing. I have videos, and I will show them on the class when we actually do the class. So that will be an upcoming thing. I think it's not about these are my bottles, and it's about keeping my friends safe. So I will be sharing that with you guys as well. Okay. And so again, I digress. Squirrel, engage in divination, as we talked about. Another thing is host a feast. Just make sure that you set out food for when I have a Halloween party for my children. I had 4 children, and when we'd have a Halloween party, I'd have each guest have to bring food that was red. One of them brought Mountain Dew, the red one there. That was kind of crazy. But, pomegranates, apples, cherries, strawberries. But it's kind of cool to see what everybody, their imaginations brought in. Some people just dip things in red chocolate, so it's kind of cool to see what people would bring. And just leave it out there. The spirits don't physically come and eat the food, but they take the energy of it. And if you ever want to prove this to yourself, set out food for your dearly departed, leave food out for them and go back about 2 hours later and then taste the food. Not only will it taste stale, it won't taste as sweet. It won't taste, you can tell that something's been taken from it. So you can actually taste the difference in the food after energy has been sucked from it. Just as you can see a human being, when energy is sucked from them, you can actually see the difference in their appearance as well. Just, as above, so below. Here we go again, guys. Burn Samhain inspired scents. Cinnamon is excellent. In fact, as I said, all the ingredients in pumpkin spice are for fighting evil. It's all protection spices, so it's kind of funny that they drink it this time of year, because the dark time of year, which is where we're going into, okay, this is where the holly hag comes in, picks up her staff. She's going to rule the winter with Lord of the Hunt, Odin. Okay, so anyway, they're going to come in. So why not raise the energy of your home, do some divination in your home, raise the energy of your home, keep the energy in your home good, because these things, they're here, and they're gonna rock your world until the spring. Very important, when you can, open windows. When you have a warm day, like in the wintertime, fresh air is very important. Remember, stagnant energy is old energy. You don't want that. Even just walking around your house and just banging pots and pans together, that breaks that kinetic energy, breaks up the stagnant. That you ever walk in the room and your chest gets really heavy? That's the energy I'm talking about. Go upstairs to the museum. You'll feel it the second you get near the door, not even enter the door. So anyway, banging pots and pans, bells, putting wind chimes, all these lovely things. It keeps negative things back, and it lets the good energy come into the house. It's part of that feng shui they talk about, trying to keep the energy flow going through the house. I usually once a year, I rotate my furniture around too, just to get a different flow pattern, sort of like tending your garden. And even though you're planting corn here this year, you're not going to plant corn there again there next year, because it's better to rotate the crops, type of thing. Carving pumpkins, going apple picking, another beautiful thing to do to celebrate the Samhain tradition. Cooking autumn meals with intentions. Remember, every word, every thought is a spell. Intent is power. It's magic. So when you're cooking for your family, unless it's the in-laws, toy, don't be spitting in it. Okay. But when you put that intention in it, like for instance, when somebody's sick in the house or we get sick, I make my chicken soup and I put my love and all my light in my Reiki, and I even do prayers, and I talk to the water, because you can change the consciousness of water by talking to it. How do you change regular water to holy water? Intent. Talking. So why not put that intent into your food? Pumpkins, autumn leaves, apples, cauldron, broomsticks, witch's hat, skeletons, pomegranate, crescent moon, bones. Did someone say bones? I like bones. Sorry, I'm just kidding. So anyway, not really. We collect things. That's what we do. So, pretty much, doing a past life regression, going to see a psychic, this is the best time to go and get that done. Making moon water. Moon water is very cool, and I'll tell you how simple it is. Okay. The moon water will definitely have regenerative, just put water in a bowl and put it underneath the moon. If you want to, you can put some crystals in with it. Just make sure that they're not the kind that if they're going to fall apart, like a citrine cluster that will fall apart, amethyst cluster that will fall apart. But anyway, I don't like to soak my crystals for very long. I put it in a spray bottle with my holy water and I lightly spray them once in a while. So I don't know if you can hear that. It's my dog at the door. Yeah, seeing a medium, that is awesome. Symbols in your life that are represented by Samhain are, of course, the jack-o'-lantern, which we discussed, the full moon, the black cat. Did you know? Let me tell you something about cats. I'm a cat. We're really cool. No. Cats have the ability to take on psychic hits for you. This is really amazing, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a cat, they kid about a cat having 9 lives because when you drop it and it turns around, it lands on its feet and so forth and so on. But there is more to this theory than just that. A cat can take on psychic hits. If you ever have woken up and your cat is on your chest sleeping, that cat has taken on a psychic hit for you while you were sleeping. It is guarding your heart chakra because something, do you ever wake up and you feel something heavy on your chest or some about possibly sleep paralysis? That's not a fun thing. I have a couple people here in chat with me right now that have experienced that, and it's a terrifying thing to feel. A cat will take on that psychic hit for you, so that's really cool. My cat, I would do a ritual, set up my sacred circle. Grim would be nowhere to be found, off in the woods, chasing mice, looking at birds, doing whatever. And as soon as I get that circle set up, there comes Grim. He would come out of the woods and he'd walk into my circle and he would stay there until I take my circle down. But the beauty of a cat entering and going out of a circle, which you're not supposed to do because the energy of the circle, unless you cut a gate with intent, okay, you leech energy out through walking through your circle. A cat can actually enter and leave a circle as many times as it wants, and the circle will not leech energy from a cat. Did you know that the purring of the cat, the frequency of the purring, actually increases bone density? Go look that up. You will find that online. That's kind of crazy. So it's kind of cool to have children, have kitties in homes of the elderly, going around nursing homes and such. They also change the pitch of their purring depending on what your spiritual need is. So that's kind of cool too. So anyway, so that's my little dissertation on black cats. All right, so black cats are very cool. Black cats, black absorbs negativity, absorbs energy. In case you didn't know that, that's why black holes do what they do. They suck. They suck. So it absorbs energy. Black cats do the same with negative energy that may be around. So doing a ritual to release your past, that's a great thing. Say you broke up with somebody recently and you want to do a cord cutting, release him. I set you free. Thank you for the teachings. Go forth in peace and love. Don't send any bad juju out there. It will come back at you threefold. Okay, that's the Wiccan way. Okay, so anyway, more traditional Samhain rituals. Let's see here. I think cleanse your home. That's a great thing. As I said, cord cutting spells, cleansing baths. That's a great thing to do. And we're actually at the end. So taking cleansing baths are amazing. Salt, remember, salt absorbs. Anytime you're having a real crappy day, and you just need to get this energy off you, please, please, please go take a salt bath. And if you can't, just soak your feet in Epsom salts for 20 minutes. No more than 20 minutes, because after 20 minutes, your body starts to suck it back in. So after 20 minutes, get rid of the water. Okay. The toxins are out of your body by then. And then at that point, it's just going to start recycling back through, which you don't want to do. So, anywho, so trick or treat. Remember, give food to the dead. They want to be fed. Keep this in your head. So basically, that is it, my friends, I think, on the Samhain tradition and how it came to be and how it became Halloween and All Hallows Eve. And here we are. And so, much love and light, my friends, and thank you all for being here. Penny, Jasmine, Julie, everybody that showed up. Sarah, I know you're here. Shane, we send you love and light. Michael, I see you hiding there. Hawks, Dennis, awesome. Thank you for showing up. So glad you guys came. So I will be, again, I will be teaching you how to make the home cleansing bottles, and I will be showing you videos on that, how effective it is and how it works. Even with SLS footage, I can prove that it works. So anyway, with that be said, thank you for joining me here tonight. Please like this and subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please, it helps get my content out there. Much love and light, everybody. I love you all so much for coming and hanging with me and having coffee or witch's brew or whatever it was. So much love and light, guys. You just keep shining that light, and shine, 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 guys. Have a great night. Shine, shine, shine.